Hey. Hey everybody, this is Tony Grizz the Tone, you know who I am by now. Here I am with my post-Raw video. Not really much better than last week, I gotta say, it's, they're thinking of going 3 hours. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do, because they don't even know how to build a 2-hour show. A lot of logic holes in the stories tonight, in the storylines that I'm not even gonna get into, because it's like, it'll make my head hurt more than it already does. So let's just get into the show. It starts off, after the show, they clip the still shots from the John Cena Johnny Ace match from Over the Limit. I'm glad I didn't see that. So then the show starts, John Cena comes out, not doing his usual over-the-top cartoon shtick yet. He says that usually, when he has a match against someone on a pay-per-view or whatever, whether he wins or, if he loses, he congratulates his opponent, and then he says, let's move on. But because, he lost to Johnny Laurinaitis, he says, he says that Johnny Ace beat him, and he's saying he's not upset about how it happened, but something like that would happen to begin with. He said, Cena says that Laurinaitis is just a selfish, power-hungry bully, and then he talks a little bit more about the match last night, and didn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense here. He was saying that he was pretty much kicking the crap out of Johnny the whole match, and then they did a lot of stupidity during that before Big Show came in and turned heel. Of course, Cena brought that up. He used to call Big Show a friend of his, and he knocked him cold. So then he says, it's like people are asking Cena why was he toying with Laurinaitis rather than just finishing the job, and Cena says that Johnny deserved everything that he got, and then something forever. And he says that Big Show decided to sell out. He says he doesn't know he doesn't know what Show's thinking, what's going through his mind right now. He says, then he gets, it's like, it wouldn't have mattered if Cena had won. He said it wouldn't have mattered who the next GM would have been, Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, and then this is where he got into cartoon land. He said, bring back the computer GM, and then he was doing the whole Michael Cole bit every time that they did that. I hated that. That was just so stupid. It was like, and then he says that we're stuck with this people power garbage, and then he just rags on Ace and all this people power idiocy. So then Eve comes out, and then she just introduces the guy who beat Cena at Over the Limit, Johnny Ace, and he comes out on this power scooter or whatever, and he's got a crutch. Eve helps him up. He's standing on the crutch, and then he says he was rushed to the emergency room, had all sorts of injuries. After his match, had a spinal injury, and this and that, and I forget what else. But he says, he can't lift his left arm or move his left leg, but that's okay, because, he showed that he's a fierce competitor in the ring. When he's outside the ring, he's a WWE executive that no one can lay a hand on. And he says if they do lay a hand on him, he's gonna give him the axe. So then he says and here's where logic went out the window. He said that Cena will be facing at No Way Out a guy that he rehired and gave a bonus to. Of course, that being the Big Show. Now, the whole step was, if any WWE roster member got involved in the match, they'd be sacked. And then they said that Big Show re-signed with an ironclad contract over the weekend. So technically that would make him part of the roster again, and he could have been re-canned. But, logic and WWE never mix. So then Show says that he knows Cena and the fans want an explanation, but they're not entitled to hear one. Then he talks about that wretched angle last week where he was begging for his job, and he was saying that he did that. No one loves the business more than he does, and he says, he was so upset that a big giant dude was trying a worldwide TV, and he's saying that he got no sympathy from the fans, and he was asking, where were you when, where, the fans didn't do anything, the fans and Cena didn't care or whatever, and he said that he did what, any of them would. He did what any of the fans would have done. And he said that he has this ironclad contract, and then, he said, he's like, he said, how dare Cena or the fans, judge him? And then he says that he'll be judging Cena at No Way Out, and he says, he says that for Cena there'll be no way out because he'll knock him out. And then Coffee Mug Man David Otunga comes out, and this was mentioned that Cena lost to Laurinaitis, and now it's time for Cena to lose to him. Cena says he's not in the mood for it. He tells Otunga to go backstage and watch reruns of Law and Order, which is a kind of comical line, but that was about it. But he just said that he tells Otunga that if Otunga gets in the ring, then he'll hurt him, and it's Otunga says that he's gonna go through with the match and he's dedicating it to Big Johnny. It's Alan put it. So, segment sucked. Cena was, like I said, he wasn't as over-the-top cartoony as he was last week, but it was still, it's like the whole, there were so many logic holes in here. It's like I say, I couldn't even keep track of it. I thought Big Show was good in his delivery, but this whole thing about him, but the whole segment was really, it didn't really work for me. Like I said, I thought Big Show was good. Him being pissed at seeing the fans for, it is typical heel stuff, saying, it's like, hey, where were you, blah, blah, blah. So, I thought he did a good job in his delivery, even though he's, despite the bad segment. So then we get Cena versus Otunga squash match. Cena gives him the AA and makes him tap to the STF. And that was it. Then afterwards, the former NXT guys, or some Kurt Hawkins, Tyler Rex, Titus O'Neil, and Darren Young come in, and then they attack Cena. Sheamus comes out, and then and then he and Cena just clean house on the heels. They just chuck him out of the ring, and that was it for those guys. So then Johnny A said that he never gave those four heels permission to come out and do anything. He tells them to head back to the locker room. And then he says that Cena and Sheamus will team up tonight in a 3-on-2 handicap lumberjack match. Okay. Like I say, more crap. Like I say, when the four jobber heels came out, or low-level heels or whatever, I thought this was like maybe the start of the first four since they attacked Cena, but no such luck. Okay. So then next segment is Ricardo Rodriguez is in the ring. He was going to introduce Alberto Del Rio, but Santino Marella comes out, and he says that he can't understand a word that Ricardo says. He says his accent is almost as ridiculous as his eyebrows, and then they do a whole stupid back and forth thing about rolling the R's. So Santino's like, you don't roll your R's right, it's and then they do that crap for a bit. And then Santino sticks the Cobra at him, and then Rodriguez backs off, he falls down or whatever. They're like, oh, this isn't the Cobra! Like, no shit, Santino, we know that. And then of course Santino gives Ricardo the Cobra anyway. Then he tells the music guy to cue Alberto's music so he can give him a real introduction or whatever. And then he proceeds to do this over the top comedy and not funny at all introduction for Del Rio. It was just stupid. So then during this, in between Santino introducing Del Rio and Del Rio coming out, they have this video package plugging that Raw will have its 1000th episode on July 23rd, and it'll be going 3 hours, breaking all the records of shows such like Gunsmoke and this one and that one. I don't even forget what show they were saying, but it's just like, and then it's like, oh yeah, we only show be 3 hours or whatever. Hey assholes, remember Monday Nitro, what a disaster that was when they went 3 hours? Ah! Okay, so then Del Rio comes out, and it's going to get him and Randy Orton. Not a bad match. Orton gets a win by DQ. Jericho comes in, gives Orton a code breaker. Then Jericho gets the mic and he just keeps repeating, saying he's the best in the world at what he does. And then Orton gets up, Jericho gives him a code breaker again, and then he's again says he's the best in the world at everything he does. And then he picks Orton up, gives him the third code breaker. I mean, I thought it was alright, but like I said, we'll see what they do here. I thought the match was okay, and I thought Jericho coming out, playing the heel role video was, I was okay with it. It looks like maybe they'll do Orton and Jericho for the No Way Out show or something. I don't know. So, then we get to Daniel Bryan coming out to talk about the controversial finish of his match with CM Punk at Over 11. What had happened was, for those who didn't see it, like me, but I read about it, Daniel Bryan got the yes lock on CM Punk. Punk turned it over into a pin, and the ref counted 3, and Punk tapped out. Now, supposedly it was supposed to happen at the same time or whatever, but the 3 count and the tap out was supposed to happen at the same time, but Punk won first. So then Daniel Bryan comes out. He gets a big yes chant, and then he says that the great injustice was done last night. You're saying he should be WWE champion. And then he has them show the controversial clip of the finish of the match, and it's a slow motion back and forth clip of Punk tapping, and Daniel's doing it. He's chanting tap tap tap, which was pretty cool. And he says, it's like, then he does, it's like, okay, it's Q&A time with Daniel Bryan. It's like, did he make Punk tap? Yes. Will we make him tap out again? Yes. And he says the only reason Punk, he isn't, he does the yes bit with a lot of stuff. And he says the only reason he's not champion right now is because the ref screwed up. And he demands a rematch. Then CM Punk comes out. He's on the stage, and he says, says to Daniel, last night, Sunday's match was one of the greatest battles he had ever been through, and he thanks Daniel for giving him one of the greatest fights of his life. But then he mentions, Daniel forgot to mention that, Punk pinned him on the at the pay-per-view. So then he talks about, what happened on SmackDown, and what happened on SmackDown was, and I know I'm sorry, I apologize for not being able to get the SmackDown recap, but it's tougher, it's tricky to get to this around the weekends. But Daniel Bryan was doing commentary for a CM Punk Kane match, and then he was going to hit Punk with the chair. The ref and Punk and the ref both caught him, so then Daniel hit Kane with it. And then he gave the chair to CM Punk, and then Kane thought Punk attacked him. So what happened here was, Punk says that he's ashamed of himself that he fell for that trick. So then he says, and now apparently he's got the ability to book matches too. So he says, I'm going to introduce Daniel Bryan's opponent for the show. Yep. Cue Kane's music and pyro, he comes out. So for some reason we got heel Kane versus heel Daniel Bryan. I don't get it. And CM Punk was doing commentary. But it's like, Mike Johnson just said on his Raw post audio, just like, wouldn't Laurinaitis have to be the guy to approve the match and shit like that? Even with the whole thing with Big Show, it's like he secretly signed a contract, a verbal one with Big Show and Johnny Ace secretly signed one over the weekend or what have you, and didn't put pen to paper until after the show or what have you. I don't know. And it's like, doesn't it have to go through Triple H first? I'm getting a bigger headache. So anyway, we get Kane versus Daniel Bryan. Not a bad match, not a great match, not a great match either, but Daniel wins by DQ when Punk pulls the same trick on Daniel that was pulled on him on SmackDown. Punk ripped off his headset. He was going to do the same to Daniel, like I said that he did, but he was going to hit Kane with the Punk was going to hit Kane with the chair, but Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call him, yanked the chair out of Punk's hand. Then Kane sees that Daniel Bryan is holding the chair, and he thought that he was going to hit him with it. So then Kane gets the chair, and he just pounds the crap out of Daniel Bryan with it. That leads to the DQ. So then afterwards, Kane gives Daniel Bryan 2 choke slams, and that's it, and he walked out, and he just faded off. Okay, so then Punk got in the ring and locked in the Anaconda device, and he made Daniel tap. Okay, not bad, not great, but not horrific either. you know, when I watched it, I thought I was okay with it, but you know, but now, like I said, because CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are two of the best guys in WWE today, but you know, it's just like, you know, Punk made Daniel Bryan tap last night, so now it's just like, you know, what are they gonna do? I mean, they're obviously gonna do a match at the pay-per-view. Maybe it's like, I don't think they'll do a submission match or what they're gonna do, but we'll see what happens. So then afterwards, you know, CM Punk is in backstage. AJ shows up, and Punk's like, got this look on his face, and she says that she enjoyed watching him beat the crap out of Daniel Bryan, and he says that she's not crazy. He says, "Listen, you're not crazy," but he asks if she's sadistic. She starts to go bananas, and then Punk says that, you know, she's got to realize, you know, she has to know that she's the one who's been acting like a fool throughout this whole scenario. And then she, you know, she cries or whatever, and then Punk says, "Oh, it's gonna be okay," and then he hugs her and everything, and he was like, "Okay, bring her here," and then he tells her to stop crying, and then just magically, okay, she's alright. And then Punk said that he sort of digs crazy chicks. I don't know, you know, so then Punk walks off and AJ fakes crying again or whatever. Actually, a decent segment. I like the way that they both did the, I like, you know, how they both play the roles here. You know, I'm not sure where they're going. Hopefully it's not going to be something, you know, like where it's like she's going to manipulate Punk into, you know, and then cost him the title or something. But you know, it's whatever. You know, I don't know. I thought they did a good job with the segment, though. We'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes. But I mean, for that, just as a standalone segment, I thought they did a good job. You know, Punk and AJ are both really good at playing their roles. You know, AJ is really good playing the, you know, the semi-psycho heel or what have you. So then we get the return of Christian, who won a People Power Battle Royal over the limit, and then beat Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship the same night. So, and from what I heard, that match didn't click. So then Christian comes out, and he's facing Jinder Mahal. So Mahal comes out, puts the turban in the glass case, and Jerry Lawler doesn't know what the hell it is. He says, "Hey, it looks like a rat's tail." It's like, good God, King, where you know, it's like, you don't pay attention to the fucking company you work in. What the fuck's wrong with you, man? What do you want, to play around looking for your new wife? So anyway, so it was not a bad match. I mean, you knew what was going to happen. Christian, of course, won. You know, Jinder Mahal locked on the camel clutch, or was going to lock on the camel clutch. Christian slid out, hit the kill switch. 1, 2, 3, the end. Then we get Kelly versus Beth Phoenix. Not a bad match. You know, it was mostly a squash. Beth, you know, hit the Grand Slam for the 3 count. But Kelly got in some offense in before Beth pinned her. So Beth is back in the Divas title hunt, and then showed Layla watching backstage on the monitor. Okay, so main event. So Sheamus and Cena come out for the handicap lumberjack match. Then Vicky Guerrero does the "excuse me" bit, and says that she's still be part of the People Power era, and then introduces Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger, and then their partner happens to be is the no longer Lord, just plain old Tenzai. Okay, and then so it's Sheamus and Cena versus Swagger, Ziggler, and A-Train, Albert, Tenzai, Giant Bernard, Lord Tenzai, whatever now we want to call them. So okay, so then all the lumberjacks come out, and what do you know? They're all heels. So we got a bunch of heels surrounding the ring. Okay, so we had the match. It wasn't really, you know, it was okay. I was okay with it. It was kind of so-so. You know, it was, yeah, all the heel lumberjacks, you know, pretty much, you know, like were pounding on, you know, were not Cena and Sheamus every chance they got. You know, Sheamus kind of like, you know, got a head, you know, he kind of, I dove onto a few of them at one point, you know, and then just out of nowhere, you know, it's like all the heel lumberjacks get in the ring and they just pound on Sheamus and Cena, and then the baby faces come out, and then the whole brawl starts, which was actually pretty good to see, you know, it was a good visual. And as this brawl is happening, Cena heads up the ramp to find out what, you know, because Big Show was watching on the stage during the match. So then Cena heads up the ramp, goes to backstage to find out where Big Show went. So then, the brawl continues and everything, you know, and then they show Cena backstage, and he asks Johnny Ace asks him what he wants. Cena says he doesn't want anything from him. He wants to know what Big Show is. Johnny doesn't know where he is or whatever, but then he tells Cena not to touch him, or he tells Cena not to touch him, or he's gonna give him the boot. So then, Ace walks off, and then, Cena, I think, was watching him for a bit. He was like, and then and then Cena turned around, boom, Big Show with the knockout punch. And then Big Show stood over Cena for a little bit, and then he walked off while Cena lay on the floor to, selling the knockout punch. And that was the show, pretty much. That was the show. Like I say, the match was alright for what it was. The brawl, like I say, it was a good visual. Big Show knocking out Cena backstage. I was okay with it. I don't know how good their match in No Way Out's going to be, but we'll see what happens. So, like I say, overall, the show wasn't really, it's like I say, I don't know how the hell they think they're going to book 3 hours of Raw if they can barely book 2 hours. I mean, are we going to get an extra? I mean, this 3 hours has got me and a lot of other, I would say every wrestling fan, groaning, and pretty much, it's just like, talk about a slow, painful death sentence. It's just like, it's just like, okay, it's just like, like in the, please, give me a break. It's just like either, it's like, you can choose the way in which you'll die. You can have your head chopped off and be burned at the stake, or you can watch Raw for 3 hours until you completely become a zombie and a vegetable and then just die. So it's just like, I'll take the first 2 choices. So anyway, like I said, it wasn't much of a show. I guess that'll pretty much do it for me now. Like I say, my apologies for not getting to SmackDown over the weekend, but like I say, it's kind of tricky to get on here on the weekends and stuff. But I'll be back on Friday with a post-Impact show, and like I say, this whole thing, with Raw going for 3 goddamn hours, it's just so, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what the hell Comcast is thinking. I mean, if they're gonna give us 3 hours, have one of those hours be CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan every freaking week, just to give us something, watchable, give us something good. But I have a feeling we're going to get a lot more of sports entertainment, remake movies, John Cena, the superhero cartoon, and Johnny Ace people power, and all that bull crap. So that'll do it for me tonight. I'll be back on Friday. As always, you can feel free to add me as a contact. Send me a message on my, in my YouTube inbox. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my blog site at TonyVista.blogspot.com, where I recap all the shows. And that'll pretty much do it. So I'll be back on Friday with a post-Impact show. Until then, this is the Tony Viz. Thanks for watching. Take care, folks.